Hello and welcome to the Primary PE Huddle podcast, brought to you by Aspire Active Education. Aspire Active Education is a passionate family who all believe that PE, sport and physical activity are essential for children to develop a love of healthy living and to end physical inactivity forever. We've proven that working in collaboration with school leadership teams, PE subject leaders, teachers and all PE practitioners positively impacts the sustainability of schools embedding a powerful physical curriculum and essentially helps more children be more active more often. Our mission is to engage 1 million children in physical activity by 2025, and we hope this podcast brings others along our journey with us. Through this podcast series, we aim to discover the power behind PE, school sport and physical activity, specifically in primary schools, the impact this has on the whole school, the impact it has on pupils' holistic development, and the secrets behind the successful implementation of a powerful physical curriculum. This is what makes up the Primary PE Huddle. We won't be alone through this journey. We're joined by PE subject leaders, school and academy senior leadership teams, experts in the field of primary education, and representatives of key sector bodies, who all share what physical activity means to them, how they use it as a tool to positively impact children and young people, and what they believe in the Primary PE Huddle. Our guests perform a deep dive on topics such as creating sustainable high quality PE, the benefits of physical activity, a top-down collaboration to embed a physically active ethos, and sharing of best practice from their own experiences to create an enthusiastic culture towards a healthy and active lifestyle. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review and subscribe wherever you get your pods.
Hi, it's Paul here from the Primary PE Huddle podcast, and thank you, Sam, for agreeing to be part of the Primary PE Huddle podcast as my featured guest today. I mentioned his name, but we'll get to hear him in just a second. But as usual, all of our podcasts refers to what PE subject leaders, industry experts and organisations in our industry need to do to combat physical activity, inactivity, shall I say, in schools, bringing PE, school sport and physical activity to the forefront of children and young people's educational journeys. I'm really excited to speak to Sam today because during this podcast we're going to explore what physical activity means to you and the importance you feel it has, subject leadership tips and a range of SLT perspectives, and how we can get more children more active more often. So I said his name a couple of times. So for those eager listeners, I'd like you to introduce to yourself, Sam, and who you are, where we're at, and anything about you that might be interesting.
My name is Sam Horton. Thank you very much for inviting me to the podcast. For myself, then, I've been at Wollescote Primary School for 6 years. Prior to that, I had a little bit of experience in sports coaching. And to be fair, it's all through when I was younger, I played football at a decent level, so I've always loved sport. But when I was in my early 30s, I was thinking, what could I try and do that's sports related? So that's why I went into teaching. So went into sports coaching, did that for a few years, worked really, really hard, and obviously I'm very passionate about it. I got promoted last year as a unqualified teacher, so I'm a PE teacher now. And then recently in September, I got promoted again as the PE coordinator for Wollescote Primary School.
Wow, okay, so that's a real quick fast track all of a sudden.
Yeah, it is.
And do you feel ready for those two promotions that have been kind of pushed your way?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I worked really, really hard over the years, and I feel like back in the day, I don't think I was quite ready, but in September, I was definitely ready for the next challenge.
Excellent. Fab. And is it just yourself leading it here at the school? Do you have anyone with you, anyone near you?
So I've got myself as the PE coordinator, and then I've got a full-time sports coach working with me as well.
Fab. And does that help to relieve the kind of the workload that you've got?
Yes, of course. It's a very busy job being the coordinator. So having somebody on my side is definitely helping me out because I'm not just teaching PE here. I teach swimming as well, so it's 2 subjects.
Oh, wow. Swimming's absolutely huge, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely
massive.
Huge. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. Well, you've got obviously many years under your belt and you've obviously gone through a couple of promotions to these positions now, which is absolutely amazing. Now, 6 years ago, you came to the school, obviously prior to that with sports coaching. Since you've got everything under your belt, I kind of always start the question off, could you name one thing that you'd wish you'd known before becoming a teacher in relation to PE?
Well, thinking about that, I mean, I could think of one thing, but potentially I could think of a couple. One thing that I was thinking about just now from the question, I was thinking a bit of behaviour management. But the one thing that I really have noticed over the years, which obviously I'm good at now through experience, is it's not just the physical side. The physical side is just a small percentage. It's the emotional side, it's the cognitive side, it's definitely the social side as well. Social side is so big, respectful, sportsmanship, teamwork, leadership, and how to communicate within your team. As a PE teacher, you need to teach children at an early age is how to communicate within your team. Communication is so important. All these stuff are life skills. And once you've taught these children all these amazing life skills, they can then move on to the next chapter. So it's been like it's more than just that P. Like I said, it's so many different skills that I've got to learn all in one go, really.
Yeah, totally. You mentioned about communication. Interesting thought I've just had in my head. We're going slightly off topic. You mentioned obviously communication is important. Have you seen a difference in the communication of the children, either respect with each other now doing the sport, and also on the other hand, respect with the adults and the staff around school or around communication, or is it more clarity of communication? They're giving more instructions, or they're understanding a bit more with the communication side of it.
Well, for me, a lot of it has always been my drive for Wollescote is sportsmanship has got to be number one. Mm-hmm. Sportsmanship is your leadership skills, it's your teamwork, it's respecting one another. And what I do a lot of is take the opportunity when I've got it. So whether that's break time, whether that's lunchtime, because I'm based over Key Stage 2 mainly at lunchtime. I teach my year 3s, 4, 5 and 6s. I take that opportunity to, doesn't matter what the score is, doesn't matter if you win or lose, you high five. I teach my sports leaders, sportsmanship is number one. So respecting one another. And my children really do I put a lot of emphasis on my children to do that. So that's what I make sure that they do.
Fab. And there's a lot of myths around teachers where they go, you get 6 weeks holidays a year and you start at 9 and you finish at 3, and there's all this, even in this day and age, I still hear that in around in the circles. And is there any myths that maybe you're about your job role as a PE teacher? Just PE teacher, just stuff like that. Anything that's come up, you thought, you know what, I want to squash that. That isn't true. This is what happens. This is what it's like in the real world.
Well, there's definitely over the years I've heard this as well. Not in my setting at school. No. I've got nothing but respect for the teachers at our school, and they've got nothing but respect for me. But over the years with the sports coaching, you only teach throwing and catching. That's easy peasy. That's all you need to do. Yeah. But as we know, the lesson is very well detailed. So that's one of the myths. Like, it's easy peasy. He's got nothing else to do.
Well, as I say, we speak a lot about what you do here at the school, and we've looked at your curriculum map, and we've looked at the in-depth nature of it, and the enhanced competitions that you like to put in, and the local competitions that you like to be involved in, and there's lots of tips of the trade that I'm sure you've picked up along the way. But also there's that communication and collaboration with those around you. So are there any tips that maybe you could give to other PE leads and about working together with the team around you, not kind of taking it all on for yourself? I know you've got another sports coach, a full-time sports coach, sorry. But I know you work very closely with the SLT team and head teachers at the school. So are there any tips that maybe others can take on board about that collaboration?
For me, it's all about getting your face across. So with SLT, I've worked very closely with the head teacher. Mm-hmm. She's supported me throughout my time here with CPD and coaching and stuff like that. So the communication has always been very good. She's always been very supportive. And I work very closely with my SGO. Mm-hmm. And I go on to PE conferences. I've done quite a few PE conferences. It's all about networking, going to local competitions, network with other PE leads, going to PE coordinate meetings. All that stuff is going to make me a better coordinator as well. Mm-hmm. So that's my tip. My tip is just get yourself out there. And the great thing about it, we all us PE leads know how massive this job is.
Yeah.
So the support you get from the PE leads is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's always been amazing.
Yeah. So I understand you're going to a conference on Friday.
Yeah.
For again that exact reason for going, you get the chance to network.
Plus, I'll probably see some people that I already know as well.
Yeah, and share stories.
Yes.
And challenges and barriers, and and just be in that same situation. I saw a thing the other day that said we're all in the same storm, we're just in a different boat.
Yes, of course.
And that would relate to the support that you give, and also the support that you give others as well. So yeah, fantastic opportunity to go network. Have you ever been on? Would you ever recommend any kind of online networking opportunities, like any forums or groups, or any PE league groups or anything like that at all?
I've literally typed in primary P so many different variations on Facebook. I've used social media so many times, just getting myself in those groups. I'm on all those groups. So yes, those are fantastic. Those are really, really good. So I'll get myself on those really.
Because you could be 400 or 500 people in that same group.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of thing, and they might be passing across resources. Suddenly someone might have Ofsted coming in, and you'll be like, "Oh, what does that feel like? What's happening? What questions do you ask?" So many things that you can get in there, and with social media and the internet these days, the responses can be so rapid, and so within minutes you can get replies back.
Well, I'm constantly on the internet just trying to just improve my knowledge and stuff like that as well, and just like I say, going into the groups and just anything, any little tip to trying to improve my own best practice, basically.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. So it's very, very clear that physical activity is the heart of what you do and what you strive and what you strive and drive here at Wollescote, and you have that support from those around you as well, which is brilliant. How do you go about ensuring that everyone's on board, so that you ensure that the PE school sport and physical activity remains at the heart of school life? And why should schools also do this?
I mean, for me, I am very passionate. This is solely my job. I'm not a classroom teacher, I'm a PE teacher. So my job as the PE coordinator is PESPA at primary school setting. It's all to do with PESPA. So for me, it's about getting... I've got this kind of vision that I want to get to make sure that PESPA is at a high quality standard at Wollescote. So it's getting teachers involved. I'm starting to get the teachers involved, classroom teachers, where I'm having house leaders as well. So that's really exciting. I've got house points now. So I'm using house points for the whole entire school. So then we get that school involved as well. There's things that I haven't got in place just yet, but there's things that I know that I'm going to put in place. So, for example, I'm going to have like posters up and stuff like that. I really want to take advantage of the halls as well, make sure it's really popping with my fundamental skills. My swimming pool, have their progression maps, the long-term plan. So I'm really trying to put that stamp of PE. And then the school sport, school sport is getting as many after-school clubs, plenty of opportunity. I could do, got my intra-sports going on, inter-sports going on. So I'm just trying to really push that as well. And the physical activity bit is take advantage of every single moment that I've got. I'm talking break times, challenges, lunch times. I've really got some amazing sports leaders, years 3 all the way up to year 6. My year 3s, because some people in the past said, year 3s are too young. Some of my year 3s are my best sports leaders. That's how good they are.
Why do you think that is? Is it the cohort that you've got?
I think it's quite good picking as well. Good picking as well. It's just, I'm very much like, with my sports leaders, I will go up to them and support them as much as I can at lunchtime. So I'm mentoring them and stuff like that. But like, they are completely blown away. Their confidence is just constantly improving. Time after time.
How do the year 4, 5 and 6 children react to the year 3 children telling them what to do?
Nothing but respect.
Oh, amazing.
And that is due to I'm focusing on sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is number one. I do like assemblies and stuff like that. And sportsmanship is, if my children could learn just one thing off me by the time they leave Wollescote, sportsmanship. It ticks off all the boxes.
Yeah. And you mentioned about sportsmanship obviously a lot. And you just touched on in-house competitions and and things with competition, and potentially we're looking at obviously children doing their best and self-competition as well in there. What do in-house competitions look like here at Wollescote?
Well, I've introduced that I'm doing intra-sports every single half term, and I'm going to do, for years 1 to 6. Reception will do it every term, but that's where it's a themed one. It's a Christmas theme, Easter, and then your sports day. But how my in-house ones will work moving forward is my sports leaders are not just sports leaders, they are sports leaders and sports council. So they have the voice for the school. They will support by coming up what we do for the intra-sports. But what they can do with that is by making sure that everybody has the voice for the school, so then they can go round at playtime, at lunchtime, and do a mini questionnaire. So then the sports leaders are getting everybody involved.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You mentioned about there's a lot of awareness here of there's now house leaders, there's now house points going on.
Yeah.
So then I assume we've got traditionally 4 house teams.
Yeah, I've got 4 house teams.
4 badges, like design.
Yes, I've designed the logos.
Yes,
yeah.
I thought that might be coming.
So my logos.
Talk to me about that. It's not if you've got these listeners here and they're like, I don't know what to do. I really want to push this, and they're quite creative. What does that look like? Where do you start, basically?
Well, with my logos, I got it like something on, the iPhone, the free apps. So I designed an app on there, and I was like, well, I want to put a lot of emphasis on the house points because I think that is going to put a whole school stamp for PESPA. Yeah. So I thought, what can I do then? So it's got the Wollescote Primary School on there. It's got be proud, be positive, be polite. Just behind you, the Wollescote Way. It's our ethos. Okay. It's our vision and values, not ethos. Might have to.
That's fine. Yeah, vision and values.
It's our vision and values, and it's got on a logo anything that I've designed it in a way that anything that they can achieve it with. So it's sport. It could be swimming, and these are got logos within the logo. Forest School, and then I've cut a line off, and then it's got what you can achieve in the classroom. So I've put a little bit of time of it, and it's green ash, yellow birch, red maple, and blue oak.
And where can they be seen? I've seen them in the hall.
They're in Key Stage 1 hall. They're in Key Stage 2 hall, where they updated on a weekly basis. Then they will be in our praise assemblies as well. I've got them in the swimming pool area. As many places I possibly can. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right?
For awareness, yeah.
100%. You mentioned about the praise assemblies.
Praise assemblies.
So is that on a Friday at the end of the week?
Yeah, Friday at the end of the week.
What happens at a praise assembly?
Praise assemblies is your opportunity as a classroom teachers, as PE teachers, to praise those children that are showing the Wollescote way on their work. Be proud, be positive, be polite. Yeah. And it's a great opportunity for that. And then obviously I brought in house points as well, and it's kicked off really well. Yeah. We had Class Dojo, so we use Class Dojo. Class Dojo is free, so we use Class Dojo. This has took me forever to do, but we use Class Dojo, and I changed every single child's monster to the colour of the house. So whenever you go into Class Dojo, whatever colour your house is, that's your house. So I don't call it Class Dojo to the children, I call it house points. Yeah. And it's funny how me just changing the name, children want it more. Because you're not just focused on yourself now, you're focused on the over 100 children in your house. Yeah. So if you're following the Wollescote way, you get a house point. If you're not following the Wollescote way, you're letting your teammates down.
Oh, there's accountability there.
There's accountability there.
And sportsmanship, of course.
Yes.
It's always the focus on the nucleus of that. Actually, we spoke about resources just then with Class Dojo. I'm aware of Class Dojo through my little boy. He uses that now. And I'll get to resources in a moment. Now, he likes to update his monster, shall we say?
Yeah.
Are you quite sort of particular about that? Are you like, don't change the colour, or is it the case if they know not to touch it once it's there?
Well, I just make sure that it has to be the right colour.
Yeah.
I haven't rolled it out to the children as of yet.
Right.
That is what I would want to 100% do, is get the community more involved. I really want to get the community more involved. So, that's my next step. But I don't really want them to change the colour because it took me a long time to sort it out, and it is their house colour.
I thought that might come. Well, maybe you can put restrictions on that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, actually, yes. So we've got resources, and I want to talk about the community as well. To be fair, I'm really excited to get everything down through this podcast. So resources we mentioned. Obviously, you've got apps that help you create logos. You've got Class Dojo, and now it's House Points, and that brings up sportsmanship. Do you have any other resources that you thought, this worked really well? But also on the flip side, do you have anything that actually didn't quite work how you wanted it to work?
Well, for me, all my systems I've got in place are mine. So over the years, I've made sure that my long-term plan, my progression maps, medium-term plan, short-term plan, they're all mine. So through my all these years' experience, I think the best resources that you possibly can have is jumping on the governing bodies. They are fantastic for primary. Everything's modified. I'm talking about Volleyball England, FA. All those governing bodies have got resources for primary settings, and going on to as many courses as possible as well is really going to help. But I haven't really got a bad resource really, because I always look at a resource and go, I never copy it. I always design my own, like I said. So I go, I love that idea. I don't quite like that one. I'm going to nick off of that one. I'm going to turn it into my own. Yeah. So that's what I always do. Always use a resource it's always to do with ideas and how I can develop my own knowledge, really. Because if I improve my own knowledge, they're going to get a better PE lesson from me.
Yeah. How does your, with the resources, with things like notice boards and awareness around it, you've got your house team logos, and before we recorded this podcast, we walked past the PE notice board and things like that. So who takes charge of things like that? Do you delegate to the full-time sports coach that works with you for that because of time? Do you kind of work on it together? Who kind of takes charge of sort of the kind of awareness around the school of things like?
Well, it's mine. So if I do it, then that's myself, and if I get the sports coach to do it, then I oversee everything. But I always like to collaborate anyway, because I have got a really good sports coach on my team, and I think two heads is better than one. Yeah. And I'm not saying I don't trust her, because I 100% do. Yeah. But I'm saying that I feel like we can design some quality stuff. Yeah,
it's collaboration together.
Collaboration, teamwork.
Teamwork. That's important. That is really, really important. Teamwork. Let's have a tedious link now to the community. We can, your future ideas to bring the community more involved. What does that look like?
Well, we've got social media. Obviously, I'm guessing a lot of schools probably use social media through COVID days. And for me, I would like to, obviously, we've got Active 30-30, as we all know. Children need to be active within 30 minutes in school setting, 30 minutes out. So the idea that I've got for myself, which isn't going to take me a couple of minutes, is I could do weekly challenges for the children and put them on social media. And it just gives them that opportunity to take part. I could even try and get the parents involved, the guardians involved, the siblings. We could do like a family challenge, stuff like that. So I could get them involved that way. Another thing that I would like to do to get involved for the community is maybe do as we have parents' evening, could even get like my own little section for myself, for the parents to come over and speak to me, because I'll have all my stuff ready for me, and I could have some slots for the parents to come over and talk about how the children are getting on through the data. There's something that I have used in the past, because like I said, community to me is so important. Something that I did in the past, which I am going to bring back again, is I'm going to have my own PE and swimming page on the newsletter. Yes. So then that I can just do a little paragraph and go, this is what your children have learnt this week, this is what your children for PE and swimming. So then the parents go, I know exactly what my children have learnt this week. Brilliant. So that's another way I want to get involved.
And is that verbal feedback just the newsletter? Do you also put it in the reports and things like that as well? With regards to
yes, I'm going to have my own little section for end of year reports as well. Okay. So that'll be great for the parents as well.
Excellent. We mentioned obviously Active 30-30 there, always prevalent in everyone's minds, and in the position that we are. And something popped in my head with regards to activity and how active they are, whether they active travel, they walk, cycle, scoot to school, whatever it might be. Before moving on to tracking engagement in the school with regards to physical activity, do you track physical activity levels for what they might do outside of school at all? Is there any, or any plans to maybe even venture into that idea?
Well, yes, for the future, definitely. But for my short-term goals is just putting all my systems in. Sorry, my systems are pretty much in place. Making sure my systems are working, and then getting PESPA to the highest standard I possibly can within the school setting.
Yeah.
And I know I said that I'll do a little bit of like put stuff on social media and put stuff in the newsletter. So that's slowly going out of the school. But for me, at this moment in time, I really want to get PESPA to the... I really do believe in this school, and we've got phenomenal facilities. So I really do feel that I can bring a lot to this school. And I've only just started. So there's goals that I want to achieve within the school setting before I venture out of it. And don't get me wrong, once that's done, then I can start doing that. But yeah.
So in that case, within the boundaries of the hub of the school, then being what feels like the activity hub really in the community, which is what it's going to become, if not there already. How do you track activity levels during lessons and throughout the school day? Is it something that could be easily achieved?
Not yet. I'm not tracking just yet, but obviously I do know what kind of things I need to bring in. Like obviously the bringing the timer into a P lesson, making sure we check that so that it's around 80% and so on like that for the activity levels throughout the school setting. But yes, it's definitely something that I do want to record, and something that I will start recording PESPA throughout the school setting, definitely.
And the after-school clubs?
I do track the sorry, apologies. Yes, I do track the after-school clubs.
Through the registers anyway.
Yes.
Then, we mentioned about pupil voice, we mentioned about the school council, and having a say about what sports are made available. So, what do your after-school clubs look like, and how populated are they? And are they regularly, at capacity? What does that look like here?
The after-school clubs. It's about taking advantage of them, because obviously that's the working on physical activity and the school sport. With after-school clubs, we do Forest School, so we take advantage of Forest School, which is absolutely brilliant. There's great facilities here. Myself and the sports coach, we do catch-up swimming for our year sixes, because we want to try and get our results by the end of the year. And then I make sure that I'm ticking off the boxes from key stage, my phase groups basically, key stage 1, lower and upper key stage 2. So I'm making sure that I'm ticking all those off as well. So it's about giving more variety, because I have obviously with my curriculum map, that needs to have a good vast variety. But if I can't tick off all the boxes, my curriculum map, I take advantage of my after school club. So I could easily do like a try golf one and stuff like that in after school club. But at the same time with that, that's where in the near future my sports leaders will have the voice about doing questionnaires for the whole school. What do you want to bring? What opportunities would you like for after school club? And then we listen to that, and then we can bring those in. Same time with that, I need to link that in with competitions that are coming up. So link with that. And then we've got some really good news. We're going to be starting a first time at Wollescote, a girls football team. So we're starting a league next year.
And is that through the SGO that you mentioned?
It's Luke, the SGO. So it's the Dudley School Sports Network.
Okay.
So I'm with the Dudley School Sports Network. Obviously, I liaise with my school games organiser, KT, a lot as well. Brilliant. So the support I get is brilliant.
So when's that starting again?
The girls' football, we will be probably getting the fixtures around January time.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
How do the children feel about that?
Well, I've my sports coach Ellie, I was like, "That's your baby, and that's yours," because Ellie's got all that experience as a footballer, and obviously, let's use it then. Yeah. So Ellie, go for it, and so Ellie's going to be the new football manager.
Excellent. You'll have trials and all sorts.
Yes. To be fair, there's some decent kids here where I think they'll
watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space.
For England, and they started.
Autographs at the ready.
We're getting signed them now. Well, that's absolutely great. As I expected, there's such passion and drive and so much going on here at Wollescote. It's always a pleasure to step through these doors and
Thank
see
you.
the happy faces, and it's very, very clear through the podcast, and those that are listening intently as much as I am, I literally on the edge of my seat for the next answers. There's such drive and such. It's exciting that there's so many more next steps because you've got so much already in place.
Even though I don't think I have.
Yeah, exactly. So you're very humble and modest about it, but you do have that support network around you. Now, you've come from 6 years here at the school.
Yes.
And you've very much got that vision in your head, and you've got everything down on paper. But what makes a good vision for PE? It comes across quite easy for yourself to talk about it and express what's going on. But for those that are new into the subject, for those that have just been given it, it's their first year and they think, I like PE, but where do I start? How, as I say, what makes a good PE vision, and how do they kind of push that really in the school?
Well, I had this advice from my head teacher from this school a few years ago, and it's always stuck with me, and I think it will always stick with me. Children come first. So whenever I'm always basically, my mind always is always ticking, and I'm thinking, what else can I do? What else can I do to make things better? And the first thing that comes to my head is children come first. I need to make sure, if I don't think of the children come first, then I'm not fulfilling my job role. I'm not the best PE coordinator can be. So it's about that, and it's about giving, doesn't matter what stage you're at, it's about giving every child the opportunity to succeed, and giving every child the opportunity with physical education, school sport, and physical activity.
Fabulous. Excellent. Wow. And then shoehorn the national curriculum into that.
Yes, shoehorn the national curriculum.
But so a good vision. Yeah.
Yes. So like I said, the national curriculum. So there's two things that's in my head when I design my stuff is children come first, and the second thing a joint first thing is the national curriculum.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, and that obviously then supports the writing of your school's progressions, of your curriculum maps, content plans, and everything flows from there, doesn't it? Down to medium-term plans, etc. Now you've created your resources, and how it's not easy, it's the wrong word, but how did you find creating your own? Was that something that came naturally to you? For those that think, do I create my own? Where do I look for that information? Is it better I go to a subscription service? There's no right or wrong way, but
no.
What?
Well, for me, it's because 6 years experience is quite a long time. So it's doing a lot of wrongs, and it's and learning from your mistakes. I have used subscriptions in the past, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I would say if you're early into a PE lead, if you're early as a sports coach or PE teacher, take advantage of the subscriptions because they really will help, especially if you haven't got any experience. For example, some classroom teachers teach PE, use it. But for me, it's that when I look at the subscription ones that I've used in the past, the short-term plans, it's not for a Wollescote child. I know the Wollescote children really, really well. So like I said to you a few minutes ago, whatever resource that I have, I think resources are phenomenal. I have got loads of resources, books of resources. My PE office is full of resources that I've had from courses, I've had that from paying for them myself, and resources are amazing. I look at them and go, yes, I love that idea, I love that idea, I love that idea. How can I tweak that? Yeah. So it's I've put a lot of time, I put a lot of passion into design my own, and the reason why I wanted to do that is because my name's above the board, above the, when you come to Wollescote Primary School, the person in charge of PE, that's my name above there. So I designed these to say, this is my vision, this is how I want to move forward. It's on my head, if you know what I mean. But I do strongly believe in them. I make sure that I put a lot of time and effort, make sure it all links, make sure to the point my award system for the certificates, because they can receive certificates in PE now. every single one that ticked off my progression map. So it perfectly links. It took me forever. It's really sad, but I made sure it perfectly linked. And to the point where my national curriculum, I opened my national curriculum and I've broken it down into stages so it links into my actual short-term plan where I've got 1A, 1B. Yes, it's really sad and it takes forever, but it's going to be perfect eventually. Eventually. I put all this time and effort because I want to deliver the best possible lessons I can possibly give to the children. It's as simple as that.
That's very inspiring. Again, a little sad, but very inspiring.
Yeah, very sad.
You mentioned about the best possible lessons. It's a nice little tedious link I want to come on to. One of my questions here is the opportunity to observe best practice.
Yes.
Opportunity to review lesson plans and plans that were attempted during the session, and if they were good or bad. What does that look like here at Wollescote? It's different in every school. So how would you recommend that best practice, or what best practice is to do the observations and check the plans that are going on?
Well, the number one priority first for me is get the environment right. If you haven't got the environment right first, you can't teach a lesson.
So when you say environment, what do you mean?
Your expectations, your ground rules.
Okay.
So you need to have the expectations and ground rules. Children need to understand that. So I do feel like PE teachers, it does take a little bit longer because you have that class once a week. So it does take a little bit longer, but it's when you've got those expectations, those ground rules, and you tell the children, you don't change them. You say, we're doing this, and this is the consequences of happen. So there's that respect. So get the expectations right, ground rules. What we do here, we get our learn objective. Before we go into our learning objective, we get them to be active within the first 5-10 seconds. We get them warming up straight away. Soon, down to the point with my, like example, my year twos, I'll get them in the line just outside the hall, and I'll go, okay, we're going to find a space. We're going to go into scarecrows. 3, 2, 1, go. And they know straight away because I've taught them time and time again. So get them active straight away. And then as soon as we've done that, we do learn objective, remember twos. Another thing as well is we do skill development. We do like an I, we, you approach here, and we're a no hands up. So it's like rose and shine. So it's checking for understanding, specify the knowledge, fill in the gaps. So that's our focus. So when they're doing the warm up, we expect you to scan the room, and 80% of them, for example, that can achieve it. Those 20% that can't, it's your AFL, your assessment for learning. Those ones that can't, you think of those where they can do it as the cool down and maybe the warm up next time. And then our skill development, the main part, it's like I say, so I, we, you. So I, we, you is you demonstrate, we do it together. You is the independent learning. And how I break it down for the P lessons is the you part, I do it as a challenge. So the children do a challenge, but I take that step back and now I can see what they've just learned. And like I do, like I say, don't over scaffold it, 1 to 2 teaching points at a time. And then by the end of the second skill development, they've learned that main chunk. And then then they'll go into a game situation, and then we'll do a cool down and debrief. So, and another thing as well for me, for best practice would be question yourself, do you need to stop the whole class right now? Because if it's no, and you can speak to a small group, there's no point stopping the class. Get those other 5 groups, keep on going. So you want to see activity levels nice and high. You want to see children on task. And the most important one for me is there's a big difference between fun and love of learning. Fun, to me, would be, how's P? Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, I'm having such a good time. What are you learning today? For example, football. What's the round twos? I don't know. How do you step and strike? I don't know. Love of learning is that massive smile on the face, the ones that you check from the standing, they know the learning objective, they know the remember twos, they know the breakdown and the skill. That's the difference for me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is huge best practice right there. I hope everyone made some notes there. But please, if you did, rewind and go again, because I'm going to listen to that for quite a while. That's absolutely excellent. This moves nicely on to, if you could scale things down into top 5 tips for those individual and teams that are influencing PE to support them in embedding the physical activity ethos in their primary school setting. Try to keep it 5 and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, yeah. So tip number 1.
Okay.
CPD. Improve your subject knowledge. Do anything. Jump onto governing bodies. Jump onto going to another school and checking their PE out. Watching somebody else take part in PE. Anything CPD related, get it in. Conferences, online learning, get it all in. Resources. You're improving your subject knowledge is only going to benefit the children. It's only going to benefit your teaching practice. It's only going to benefit your confidence.
Fabulous.
So CPD is definitely
straight out the gate. Number one, straight up. Right, that's number two then.
Tip number 2: build a network around you with other schools. So I went to a school recently, summer 1, summer 2 time, where we swapped over. So I went over to their school, see how they deliver PE, and they came over to my school and see how I was doing PE. So that's very important for me because, like I say, I want to build my teaching practice, my own teaching practice, and 2, I want to be a better PE coordinator.
So to magpie a few ideas as well.
Yeah, yes, I did nick off a couple of ideas through that.
I'm sure they did the same.
Yeah. So build a network around you. Going to PE conferences, going to PE coordinator meetings, school visits. All that's very, very important because there is so much help out there. There really is. We're all here for one reason and one reason only. We're here for the children. We're here for PESPA. We want to build up these life skills for the next chapter. Tip number 3. Work closely with your school games organizer. I know that's a kind of a link with my tip 2, but I've got a fantastic school games organizer, Katie from Windsor, and she's so supportive. And so work closely with school games organizer. Again, that will only benefit me. So as the coordinator, it's only going to benefit my school, build up PESPA and all that kind of stuff.
If they don't know who the rest studios are, how do you find that out? Is that quite obvious? Do you get told when you get the subject lead? Do you have to research it online?
It's
from memory.
Yes, it's if you go onto the website, the the Sainsbury's School Games Mark. If you go on there, it should have who it is.
And again, just looking out for those that have suddenly been given the subject and they go, what's an SGO?
Yeah.
And where do I find that? Then that's fine. Excellent. Sorry, to side back there. Okay, number 4, without taking you off track too much.
Tip number 4, get systems in place. For example, sports leaders, sports council. And the good thing about getting these systems in place, sports leaders, sports council, they're easy wins in the way that's going to take me seconds to sort out. You are sports leaders and your sports council, tick. It's a massive tick. That is going to really benefit everybody. So that's my tip is focus on easy wins. Get those little systems in place that will build the profile of the school.
And you said they're from, are they year 3 upwards?
3 upwards.
Okay. Excuse it.
I brought this in last year briefly and I was like thinking, is year 3 too young? But then I'm just like thinking, nope. Definitely not, because I've got some year 3s that are absolutely brilliant. All my sports leaders are doing a great job, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying that we're talking 7, 8-year-old kids that are in charge of 10, 11-year-olds, and they are doing it easy peasy, which is fantastic because what's great about it is, like, for example, my year 2s could look at those year 3s, or anybody else could look at them and go, these guys are role models. There's something that I'm going to do with my sports leaders. So they're going to be wearing their own sports leaders like jacket as well. That I have sports leaders on the back because I really want to emphasise. I really want to push it. And then in the near future, I would like to do like some competitions where I invite a school come over and we'll do an Inspire or Engage event or something like that. More of an Inspire event that I'll tick off my SEN and pupil premium kind of kids as well.
Brilliant.
And then they could be involved in that, do like a mini like circuits or something.
You'll have a waiting list for those that want to be.
And that's like I say, my SGO is so important. Where she's amazing because she will put that like on the calendar for me as well.
Fab. We're at finally tip number 5.
Tip number 5 is something that I'm slowly introducing, where I have brought it in. Try your hardest to get the community involved. Get the community involved. Get the parents, guardians on your side. Get them knowing what an amazing job we are doing at Wollescote. It's not just obviously PE at Wollescote. It's all the subjects are doing a great job, and our head teacher really tries to focus on getting the community involved in all the subjects. So building our profile really.
Brilliant, brilliant. I've known of a couple of school fairs that have happened during the summer, prior to the Commonwealth and things, and invite the community in and the grounds.
We do like a project week where the parents come over and check the work, which is fantastic.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, we're definitely trying. We really are.
Excellent. Well, I finally sat down after this amazing podcast. Moved back off the edge of my seat, which is brilliant. I've made more notes than I care to elaborate, but fantastic. So thank you, Sam.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, excellent. And those that have obviously taken the time to tune in, thank you for listening. There are so many golden nuggets here. You may have to rewind and listen all over again at least 2 or 3 times for this. But again, thank you for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time for the Primary PE Huddle podcast, and remember to subscribe wherever you access your pods so you don't miss an episode and the key gems our fantastic guests share for you. You can connect with us on Twitter or X at Aspire Sports UK and find out more about us and the family at www.aaeg.co.uk and www.aspire-ed.co.uk for PE CPD related courses and more content. Hope to see you there, and thanks for listening.